my name is Rochelle Miller. I'm from St. George, Utah. I have served as a unit commissioner and as an assistant Roundtable Commissioner for Cub Scouts, thus the lovely hat. And I am currently serving as a committee chair for PAC 1830 and a committee member for Troop 1830 in St. George. They're both a new troop and PAC. Welcome to BCS 151. It's great to meet all of you. In the beginning of this course, we're gonna have a lot of discussion, and as we move forward in the course, then I will ask that you type any questions that you have in the chat box, and we'll do our best to get them answered before the course ends. So let's get started. An effective Roundtable Commissioner team is vital to the success of all roundtables. It's important that all members of the Commissioner Roundtable team understand the unique position of Roundtable in the scouting world, because Roundtable provides important unit service. Roundtable supplements unit commissioner efforts by the program support it provides. So at the end of this training, a commissioner will be able to identify the purpose of roundtables, describe the positions of the Roundtable Commissioner team, and understand the leadership roles of the Roundtable Commissioner team. So here's our first batch of discussion questions. I just would like to get some input from you guys as to what you feel the purposes of Roundtable are and the expectations that leaders have for it, and what does a successful Roundtable look like? So if you would just unmute your mic and share your thoughts on any of these topics.
Every time that I was a Roundtable Commissioner, the program changed after I was gone from the commission. So the program keeps changing and keeps moving, and that's the particular purpose of Roundtable, is to keep moving the program to a modern day ability to relate to boys now. But a lot of adult leaders don't change. We have to give them that at Roundtable.
Yeah.
I like that so much. I went and bought my own.
I was gonna say, I like your hat. Great minds think alike. Yeah, there are a lot of changes always happening, and Roundtable is definitely the place to find the up-to-date information on the programming for the youth. Any other thoughts that people have?
Roundtable provides a support for those new units, leaders and stuff, who may not really have a lot of confidence in what they're doing to start out with.
Oh yeah, and I think that it helps build that confidence. And I think for older leaders, it also can help us maintain our enthusiasm and our inspiration, motivation to do new things, because you're exchanging ideas and finding new ways of doing things that keep it fresh, right?
That is exactly right. You would not believe the changes I've seen over the years, and it's great. I love it.
I believe it 100%.
One of the great changes that I like is I was always using the Boys Life magazine as my program in my troop, and whatever that was in there, that was going to be the next month's program, the merit badges and the stories. However, when I discovered boyslife.org, tens of thousands of items in them, that really increased our participation in our unit, even for the special needs boys.
Oh, that's wonderful. I love Boys Life. My boys all have to take a turn reading it. So yeah, Roundtable definitely provides unit leaders with the skills that they need, the techniques, information from the district and council. It helps us keep up to date, and it helps us network with other leaders so that we can help each other out. What unit leaders expect from Roundtable is to receive all of those things that we've talked about, I think that it's also important that we be the best show in town on Roundtable night. Even more in today's day and age, people have so many demands on their time that we need to be informative as well as entertaining. And a successful roundtable hits all those buttons where it is achieving the purposes of Roundtable, where that we mentioned, where people are finding the program material that they need. They're having fun. It's well planned with parts that have been assigned in advance. There's competent masters of ceremonies to preside. You don't want the shyest person on your roundtable team leading roundtable and conducting. And it uses units to help with the program to show their successes and involve the units. It includes participation. It is active. Roundtable, no matter which type, should be a very active learning and not just sitting or watching, observing. It should be participation. A successful roundtable has good publicity before and after each roundtable. We should not have leaders finding out when roundtable is the day before or the week after. They need to know clear in advance, and it helps if we are consistent with that. So how do roundtable commissioner teams create successful roundtables? They share the workload. Many hands make light work, and there's a synergism that comes when you have a great team with a variety of talents sharing. They increase the available resources. They increase district participation and create a unity within the district. And helping to build attendance is also super important to having a successful roundtable. So here's another couple of questions I have for you. What do you think an ideal roundtable looks like, ideal roundtable team looks like? And what qualities do we want in those team members? What are we looking for?
I would want somebody that's knowledgeable, that can give me the pertinent information about the job that I'm doing. Because sometimes I don't know what I need to know. And so I need somebody to guide me and mentor me and help me to learn everything that I need to do to be successful.
Oh yes, that's 100%. You need to have someone who knows the programming, knows the resources, and can be a mentor. So we're looking for someone who's an example, right, of what scouting should look like, what the program should look like. The ideal roundtable team is going to look different depending upon the needs of a district. It can vary in size. It's going to depend maybe even year to year based largely on the goals and activities that are identified in the roundtable annual plan. A Cub Scout roundtable will have more members, most likely, than your Scouts BSA or Venturing roundtable. They tend to have a lot more breakout sessions because there's a lot of moving parts. Venturing roundtable teams should also include the venturing officers. And those team members that we're looking for, we want people who are leaders and that are effective at enlisting other effective people to serve. Someone who's really good at delegating and is upbeat. Someone who's passionate about scouting and wears their scouting uniform proudly. All of those are important characteristics. And I am wearing my uniform. I got cold. I have a sweater on. So I just wanted to make sure you know. So the responsibilities of all the Roundtable Commissioner team members include tailoring the Roundtable program to the needs of the units in your district, planning and supervising the delivery of program ideas and motivation to scout leaders that will help enable units to provide more effective programs to scouts, having that knowledge of the scouting programs and literature and how to help leaders use them in support of their program, participating in annual and monthly roundtable planning meetings, setting goals, and establishing written plans for the roundtable program using the program guides, ensuring that quality roundtables take place as scheduled, conducting regular evaluations of the roundtables, and taking the necessary training to continue to grow in experience and knowledge, which is what we're all doing here today, right? So the Assistant Council Commissioner for Roundtables is a volunteer position that's responsible to the Council Commissioner to ensure that quality Scout Leader Roundtables are being conducted in each district for all levels of the program. This position works with the Roundtable Commissioners, both the Cub Scouts, Scouts BSA, and Venturing, who have been recruited by their respective district commissioners and or the assistant district commissioners for Scout Leader Roundtable, depending on the structure of the council. Our council has a brand new ACC over Roundtable. It is Alan and Lynn Bracken, and their contact information is here if you would like that. And again, this is being recorded, so you can come back if you don't have it all written down, or you can take a screenshot to have their information if you need to contact them. The district commissioner is responsible for all aspects of unit service, including Roundtable. They provide direct support for the Roundtable program in their district, and they have an overall responsibility for all district roundtables. He or she must be involved with supporting Roundtable if they want their Roundtable commissioners to be successful. And the assistant district commissioner for Roundtables is someone who reports to the district commissioner and is responsible for ensuring that quality Scout Leader Roundtables are conducted within the district for all district programs. And they often have a key role of promotion of Roundtable for the district. This is a list of our current district commissioners in the Crossroads of the West Council. If you go to utahscouts.org and click on the districts tab on the top of the page, there's where you can find the map of the districts in the council. And on each district page, there is a button you can use to email your district commissioner or other district leaders. So the Roundtable Commissioner's responsibility is obviously to conduct Roundtable to help units solve problems by providing both the skill to do and the will to do. And through discussing unit issues and linking units to district resources, they are able to do so. It is the differences in each of the programs in scouting that create a need for each district to have separate program Roundtable commissioners. Roundtable commissioners are normally responsible for their entire Roundtable program, from planning to executing to evaluating effectiveness to implementing positive changes, and then starting the process all over again. In order to be successful, it is highly recommended that the Roundtable Commissioner should have an annual planning session, and then quarterly or semi-annual update meetings, because sometimes that annual plan needs some tweaking, and monthly team meetings. These planning meetings should always discuss the program options that best meet the needs of the district. So when we say that the Roundtable Commissioner has a responsibility to plan, some of the things they are responsible to plan are obviously the monthly Roundtable program. They preside over those annual and monthly Roundtable planning meetings and set goals and establish written plans for the Roundtable program. They work with the district executive and district commissioner to establish a budget for the Roundtables. And Roundtable commissioners attend monthly district commissioners meeting to report on Roundtable activities and alert unit commissioners to units whose leaders are not attending Roundtable. They ensure that a quality Roundtable is taking place as scheduled. Roundtable commissioners do not necessarily have to conduct the Roundtable themselves. However, they do make sure that they have an excellent master of ceremonies. They make arrangements for Roundtable to occur, including securing the meeting place, equipment, supplies, all of that. They supervise the delivery of the program. They recruit enough assistant roundtable commissioners, and they make sure that their roundtable team is properly trained and that their own training is up to date. And they regularly conduct evaluations of the roundtable to determine how roundtable can be improved. Of these responsibilities, what do you guys find to be most challenging?
I find recruiting the units to send their leaders to get the training. I mean, we always did some pretty good training. We didn't discuss, which is better, fall camp or winter camp. But
Yeah.
we spent a lot of time planning it, and we would have not, out of 100 units, we'd have 38 be represented.
Oh
So
my
recruiting
goodness.
those people, let them know what we can do for them.
Yes, it can be hard to get people to participate. And I think that sometimes that's where our recruiting efforts of our assistant roundtable commissioners can help, because they can help us connect with more units. And when we include the units in teaching some of the training, sometimes that can be a successful way of getting people there. Let's see. Every roundtable commissioner should have a team of support staff to help them provide the best roundtable possible. And that support team is the assistant roundtable commissioners. It's the responsibility of the roundtable commissioner to recruit enough individuals to meet the specific needs for the size and program type of their roundtable. There are no limits to the number of assistant roundtable commissioners that can be on the roundtable team. However, there is a minimum. There should also never be less than one assistant roundtable commissioner for each program to serve as a backup for the program specific roundtable commissioner, because unit leaders expect roundtable to always happen as scheduled. The show must go on. And so if the roundtable commissioner has a conflict or an emergency and cannot attend, we should always have at least one assistant roundtable commissioner who is ready to pick up and run roundtable for us. There's lots of different areas of duties that we can assign our assistant roundtable commissioners to, and those assignments on the team are based on what the roundtable commissioner asks them to do. They can be involved with the planning, sharing of ideas, teaching breakouts, sharing resources, promoting roundtable in order to help build attendance, a model, wearing the uniform at roundtable, and arriving early to help set up, and be available after the meeting to help answer leaders' questions. They need to be responsible to contact the roundtable commissioner and their backup team member in a timely manner if they're unable to follow through with their assignment that month, and have a positive attitude towards the scouting program, making sure that they keep taking their training and are learning and growing. There's program specific ARTCs that can be assigned to work with a particular scouting program, such as, Cub Scouts, Scouts BSA, venturing. There's a new member coordinator ARTC, and that's a position we're going to describe in depth in a later slide. And there can also be specific assignment ARTCs used to fill any of the specific needs of the roundtable commissioner team. Some of those possible assignments could be a program specific breakout session leader, a roundtable feature coordinator, someone who's in charge of ceremonies, facilities, a historian, a photographer, media specialist. I think that having a technology specialist, especially in this current age where we're having to do virtual roundtables, you might want more than one to help right now with the virtual roundtable. No matter how small or how large a roundtable becomes, make sure that everyone who's on your team has a purpose and feels that they are valuable. So as promised, here's some information about the new member coordinator, assistant roundtable commissioner. This is a position that both models the use of the new member coordinator for unit leaders and fulfills similar responsibilities for the Roundtable team. These ARTCs welcome new leaders to Roundtable. They track attendance and become a friendly face at Roundtable to help build those first relationships with new leaders. And this individual collects the contact information for participants and follows up with them to make sure Roundtable is meeting their needs. And I feel like that can be a very crucial element, that follow up, to making sure that they're obtaining from Roundtable what they are needing and expecting. That will help us with keeping our numbers in attendance. This ARTC may wear a commissioner polo shirt or a new member coordinator shirt along with a new member coordinator vest to readily identify them to new participants. And I really like the idea of them doing so because that will help readily identify them when someone walks into Roundtable. Oh, that person's dressed differently. And then they can find them throughout the Roundtable if they have questions. The new member coordinators really are there to help build relationships with the new leaders. So we all know there's different types of Roundtables, the Cub Scouts, the Scouts BSA, and Venturing. In some of the smaller districts, they may all start their Roundtables together and then end in separate breakout sessions. But due to space or in larger districts, they may start and finish all their programs in separate locations. So what are some of the big differences that you guys see between the Cub Scout Roundtable, Scouts BSA, and the Venturing?
I see that the Cub Scouts have a lot of hands-on and a lot of participation, and the Boy Scouts, we do a lot of lecturing, but we also do a little bit of demonstration.
Yeah, and that's very true because there are so many pieces to the Cub Scout program with each den doing totally different things that there are usually a Cub Scout Roundtable. They all start together and then they break out into sessions. National has recently recommended that we have a combined group topic so that all the Cub Scout leaders are getting some of the same information. But there's usually breakouts for all the different dens, lion, tiger, wolf, bear, Webelos, where they are doing hands-on activities, methods of adapting the activities. There's usually a Cub Master, Assistant Cub Master breakout that focuses on the elements of running a fun, well-organized pack meeting. And that's all hands-on. And then there's usually a pack committee and unit commissioner breakout, whereas the Scouts BSA Roundtable doesn't have quite so many breakout sessions, but they're designed to prepare troop leaders to teach a skill or present program features on the youth level. And we should present it that way at the youth level at Roundtable. And this information from National says that we need to be more effective in our Scouts BSA Roundtables, and that we need to be more of a workshop than a lecture or evening of entertainment, and that we need to actively involve the group in the presentation, that showing someone how to do something is not enough, but they need to actively be doing. And it recommends that the program features for troops, teams, and crews, volumes 1 through 3, be used as a resource for Roundtable, and that we prepare and practice and personalize our presentation, that we are making sure we're providing will to do and skill to do. It suggests, and I've seen this done for sure at Cub Scouts Roundtable, but they involving the units to help teach a skill. They say involve a troop, have the troops leaders and their scouts come, and have the youth show the adult leaders how they do something special in their troop. I think that's an excellent idea. If you know there's a unit in your district that does a really good job with a particular element, have them come and bring their youth and have the youth show them how they do what they do. Some breakout sessions that some larger districts have in their Scouts BSA is they have an assistant scoutmaster for the new Scout Patrol session that helps with the Trail to First Class program in the troop. Sometimes those assistant scoutmasters need help becoming more confident in the knowledge and skills they need to teach and to sign off on those areas on that Trail to First Class. And sometimes there's troop and committee members and unit commissioner breakouts to help them concentrate on ways to help improve the troop's overall program and support the scoutmaster. Venturing roundtables support the Venturing Officers Association. The adults and youth officers meet on the same night. The VOA president actually runs the opening session, and the Venturing Roundtable Commissioner runs the adult leader breakout roundtable session concurrently with the main VOA session run by the VOA president. Then everyone returns together for a combined roundtable program closing session. Under the direction of the VOA president, the vice president of program assistant by the Roundtable Commissioner as needed run the combined program session. And it's recommended that these monthly VOA venturing roundtables are integrated with the VOAs at a district, multi-district, and council level. They can meet on a different night than Cub Scouts and Scouts BSA. They can still have separate roundtables and VOAs, but they recommend that they combine a minimum of quarterly. That allows the VOA to have other VOA meetings and events as needed without having the concurrent roundtable. Okay, so roundtable team leadership includes shared leadership, selecting, recruiting, training, and supporting the Roundtable Commissioner team. We're going to primarily focus on the benefits of the shared leadership and how we can support the Roundtable Commissioner team. As you can tell by the highlighted on that slide. So what does a shared leadership mean? What does that mean? What are the benefits of shared leadership for a roundtable? Shared leadership in roundtables is an important aspect of team building. As I said earlier, there's a synergism that comes when we all bring our skill set and we contribute. We're able to accomplish more together than we can alone. Shared leadership builds participation, it increases interest among unit leaders, and it can help build attendance. A team in which the members share in the decision making will have a better chance to understand the group's purposes and goals, be flexible, and achieve satisfaction knowing that they've had a part in shaping the team spirit. They have an investment in its success when they feel like they have a voice.
It's amazing to me how many times different people have such a diverse contact or network of people that they can rely on to come teach a particular subject. I know we had a railroad engineer come and we had a truck driver. He actually owned a trucking company, largest in America.
Oh, wow.
Truck driving merit at Roundtable, discussing what they need. And he offered his company of 5,000 trucks to have his people train different units about truck driving. Just amazing if you share that leadership.
It's true, because none of us know everyone, right? But if we're sharing, somebody knows someone, and there are amazing things that happen and amazing resources that become available. Thanks, Vincent, for sharing that. So what kind of support do you think a Roundtable Commissioner team needs? How do we support our team? Well, I think we need to have a climate that motivates people to do their best. So we have to kind of have a climate of good old scouting spirit. When we build that into our roundtable, it rubs off on the leaders who attend. We need to make sure we're providing information to our roundtable team. So open communications are important. So they know what's going on in the district and in the council, and that can kind of be a top-down communication and vice versa. Making sure that the team is updated on the material necessary to Roundtable. As Vincent shared, there's changes always happening. And if you are helping your Roundtable team be informed on what those changes are at your team meetings, then you're gonna be having a more successful team. Making sure everyone has a meaningful responsibility and they know what their responsibility is. Giving each team member a copy of the monthly agenda and assignments. Having them be prepared in the event that, like, if you've assigned a unit to participate, having a plan B in case they don't show up. Use those team meetings to your advantage and show confidence in your team members. And I really feel like it's important to make sure you provide recognition to your team membership, your team members. Give them credit. Tell them thank you for all the hard work that they put into helping Roundtable be successful. The monthly Roundtable Commissioner team meeting is a critical function. After each Roundtable, the focus of this meeting is to reflect on what just happened and to make sure the team is ready for the next month's Roundtable. It is recommended that you use the start, stop, continue discussion to drive the feedback from this meeting. After reflecting on what has happened that month, then the team needs to be able to shift gears and look ahead. The 5 Ps apply to this part of the monthly team meeting. Prior planning prevents poor performance. We teach our unit leaders to plan short-term, midterm, and long-term. And this applies to our Roundtable teams as well. And in these extraordinary times, I feel like it's even more important that we have a plan A and a plan B for Roundtable in order to have a consistent program. As if we're always just focusing on the next Roundtable, we become reactive versus proactive. So a 30, 60, 90 approach works well for this meeting. That means you're addressing the next Roundtable, the Roundtable after that, and the Roundtable that's 90 days away. Somewhere during the year, the Roundtable team should have their annual planning conference to map out what the goals are for the next scouting year. And it's recommended that this meeting be held early in the summer and that Roundtable teams consider holding a Roundtable open house in August and inviting all the unit leaders to join you for a new year program preview. And also, I think that gives you an opportunity to get some feedback. Maybe you've planned something and they're all not excited about it, but they have a lot of questions about something else. And you might say, okay, we're going to change what we're doing. It's good to know that a year in advance instead of a month in advance. And finally, it's really important to make sure that that we don't let the monthly Roundtable team meeting become something we just do if we have nothing else to do. The adage, build it and they will come, applies. This meeting is a return and report meeting, and it needs to be an expectation of service. Sorry, my mouse is getting a little crazy there. So depending on the district organizational structure, either the ADC for Roundtable or the individual program specific Roundtable commissioners will provide a Roundtable report at the district commissioners monthly staff meeting. And they should report how Roundtable went, recognize any Roundtable team members for excellent performance, and discuss any unit issues that have been noted at Roundtable. And the ADC of Roundtable or the Roundtable commissioners also provide an update on the plans for upcoming Roundtables. Commissioner tools is an important part of tracking the Roundtable attendance. There will be further training on that in our next breakout session. Basically, you only will be able to, for Roundtable, track the number of unit leaders that attend a session, and you need to make sure that you do not count a member more than once. If they attend Cub Scouts and then go pick up flyers at Scouts BSA, they only should be counted as having attended Cub Scouts. Here's a list of roundtables in our district. You can find the information about your district's roundtable by going to utahscouts.org, clicking on the district tab at the top of the page and selecting your district. And there's information on the right-hand side. There's a roundtable link. As you can see, most of the districts in our council have their information for roundtable on the website. And here is a really important link that we've been asked to share. Although the roundtable program planning guides are provided for the National BSA for each roundtable program area, all roundtables should be adapted to the local needs of each district using approved BSA materials. And this is a link that has some wonderful planning resources from National for roundtable. It's incredibly valuable right now, especially if you are doing a virtual roundtable, because it has videos you can use for openings. The video that was used at the opening today, where they had the pledge and the Scout Oath and Law, that was pulled from these resources. And at the end of this course, for my Commissioner Minute, I will play a closing video that comes from these sources, but there are wonderful training videos for breakouts and everything. So definitely go check this out if you haven't already.
So I have a question on that.
Yes.
So is that what we're supposed to be using? Because that's kind of like what it looks like on the Roundtable Commissioner page on Facebook. They want you to use this stuff right here. And so when I go to do my roundtable, I'm like, well, it's all planned out. Then what does my team members do? So like, yeah, I'm supposed to have an annual planning. Poor Reese is here, and
so what you're supposed to do is personalize it according to the needs of your district. So they give you like the national like recommendations, but just like you mentioned you are doing Cub Scouts, right? Yeah. Just like a Cub Scout pack has the freedom to do whatever they want for pack meeting. You have the freedom to do whatever you feel like your district needs for roundtable. So these are resources that have been approved by the BSA. You can use any of the resources that the BSA has. This just gives you some tools, and it kind of gives you something to help base some of your planning off of, because sometimes we don't think of some of the group things that they want you to cover as a group. So I would definitely look at them, but part of your planning meeting is saying what you want to do and when, so you can follow them, or you can say, no, we actually want to do this in a different month, or we don't, our district doesn't need that at all. We need this instead. You have that freedom as a roundtable commissioner to tailor it to your district's needs. And that is one of the, I think, really important aspects of the roundtable commissioner job, is making sure that your team is doing that, meeting together and figuring out, what do we need? What does our district need? What are our strengths?
We need people to show up so we can have meetings.
I know, exactly. We need people to come. Well, and I am hoping that there's been a lot of shakeup in the last couple of years, but I'm hoping that more people will come to meetings, because we have people now as volunteers who are choosing to be volunteers. So we've discussed the purpose of roundtables. We've discussed the positions of the roundtable commissioner team and their duties, and we've discussed the leadership roles of the roundtable commissioner team. Let's look at the chat and see if there's any unanswered questions.
I've also been watching it, not at this time.
All right, Jen, did you have any? She was supposed to be watching that.
I was watching it. Vincent just put on there that Ochre Mountain is third Tuesday currently for roundtables. So,
oh, good.
That's the thing to maybe add to your slide.
Okay.
Our sub-district down here hasn't figured ours out yet. So those were the two that were missing.
Yeah.
we'll have to let people know down here when we actually get ours up and running, but we haven't got ours yet. So.
Okay, so Ochre Mountain was did you say third Tuesday?
That's what it says on the chat. Yeah, third Tuesday. Vincent, do you know what time that is and how they're doing it?
We start at 7 o'clock and go till 8. And we do it currently Zoom yet.
Zoom. Okay.
Okay.
There's a question on there. Somebody wants to know how they can attend others roundtable Zoom meetings.
I would imagine that if you reached out to the district commissioner and asked the district commissioner as that information for the email for the district commissioners is available on the Utah.Scouts website under each district. I would just email them and say, I would like to attend your Zoom meeting and see what you guys are doing. Will you please get me on the email that has the Zoom link? Because I don't think they have any of the Zoom links listed. But I do think that that's a great idea to share ideas. And you know what, I think that you may even be able to Google and find ones in other councils and see what they're doing as well.
Annalise just put on there that Melissa's idea was great. So whatever you can do to upgrade your roundtables, I think is a great idea as well.
Yeah, I fully agree.
You are more than welcome to attend my roundtable anytime. Just reach out to me at owahedistrictcommissioner.gmail.com.
You're going to have to spell Owyhee for us because.
Owyhee.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to try to share just for Melissa. This is last year, the roundtable plan that our district had. So it's an idea of what it can look like. As you can see, we just had each month and then which point of the Scout law we wanted to focus on that month. This was for a Cub Scout roundtable. We went through the different theme ideas that are listed as resources and picked a theme that we felt like we wanted to use for each month. And then our big rock, those are the Cub Scout discussion topics that they want you to do as a group. So, you know, den and pack behavior or flag etiquette, that was something that I think we felt like our units needed. And so we wanted to discuss. And then we had each breakout leader decide and plan what they were going to cover in their breakouts. And that way we were able to share that at the beginning of the year and throughout the year with everyone who attends. And I felt like that was super helpful in increasing our attendance, because if they know you have a plan and they know, you know, say whether, and this would apply equally, I think, with a troop, if they knew that you were going to cover, you know, trail to first class or a specific merit badge in a certain month, and that's something they know their unit is looking for, they're gonna make sure they do not miss that. So, any other questions? Vincent says in 2019, they used the requirements for the first class rank for monthly meeting with merit badges. That's an excellent idea. When I was my husband and I were 11-year-old new Scout leaders together. And when we attended, they did a breakout that was specifically for those assistant Scoutmasters. And that was so critical for us because we did not know what we were doing. and for me particularly, my husband had been a Scout, but I had not ever been a Scout. And so being able to go and see how things were supposed to work, we learned so much from those breakouts. So I've got a closing video here real quick. So that was just one of those closing videos that are available as a resource. And I like that one because it's jazzy. It makes you want to dance.